Come on, you guys not gonna make it. Come on now. Yeah, wake up. All right, so do you have the ability to pay the mortgage? So if you're paying rent, that's a good chance you have the ability to pay mortgage. Right?
You're probably gonna pay less when you pay mortgage. Yeah.
Believe it or not, I've seen most folks that buy a home, when they buy, they end up paying $150, $200 less than they're paying for rent. Why is that? So, we all know how Charleston is. Charleston is very expensive. Not only that, but there was a report that came out that said, I think we were like the 11th most expensive place to rent, because rent's going up. And with all the companies that are coming here, the Mercedes manufacturer, Volvo is coming in.
Boeing.
Boeing. I mean, everything is going to go up. So now's a good time to look at buying. Rates are most likely going to go up too. So if rates go up, what does that mean?
Less house.
Less house.
More payments.
So how fun is that, right? You get less house and more payments. I don't think anybody likes that. All right. The other thing is, let's see, steady income. What's your income like? You know, is it fluctuating? Is it stable? Are you commissioned like I am? Are you a W-2 where you get a base pay and you get paid $5,000 every month or whatever it is every month that you get paid? It's a lot like that. She's like, yeah, give me $5,000. I'm good. Give me $5,000. I'll take it. Are you paying your bills on time? I think so. There was a mention of credit. You know, what's your credit like? How many people actually have checked their credit in the last year?
Every 30 days.
Okay. So you've checked your credit, so you kind of know where you're at. How many of you actually sat down with somebody and had them go through it with you? Okay, so we got one. All right. Well, that's good. She's on it. She's on it. And that's good. Believe it or not, I have a lot of people say, you know, I don't even know what my credit score is. I never checked it. And then the first time they check is when they go to buy something. But normally you want to at least get a report. I think it's one free every year.
It's worth paying for it too, just to even to get the scores. Yeah.
Believe it or not, you'll find that I guess the $20 or $30 you pay for it. I don't even know if it's that much, but basically you find stuff that's on your report that you would have never known was there. With the fraud going on, it is so easy to get access to your information. So that is really good to get a copy of it and kind of know what's going on, even before you meet with me, or before you meet with anybody that's doing finance. And it's a good idea to do that.
How about the debt to income ratio? Isn't that a big thing as well when you're purchasing?
It is. And we're gonna cover that some here. Actually, that actually comes to the next slide.
Oh, awesome.
You must be ready to slide. No. But that actually one of the items that says low to medium debt, and then the next side says how much home can you afford. That's where the debt income plays a role. On most programs, it's 29% of your gross income. All right, so everybody tell me what's your gross income.
Your gross before any taxes, any deductions, or anything comes out.
No, just for a month. Or in gross, you can look at it from an annual basis, or you can look at it from a monthly basis. So we'll do easy math, and we'll work on $1,000. So you make
Home buyers.
Most people make more than that. But $1,000.
Seminar.
29% of that is $290, right? So if you were buying a house, your
positioning you to purchase.
$290 a month. It's based on what we call a front ratio. Okay, so that front ratio just means what is your gross income compared to what your mortgage payment would be. Everybody follow me there? Mm-hmm. You sure? Mm-hmm. All right. You know, I'm a little quiet.
So my gross is $3,000. My mortgage maybe
29%. We'll just say 30 to make it right, but
yeah.
$900.
Yeah.
So $900. So if you have your housing ratio in that case is $900. So you can afford $900 based on the ratio. How many people pay more than that around? Probably most of us, right? Now, so you got maybe. But and then the next ratio is what we call DTI, debt to income ratio. So if you ever hear somebody say DTI, sometimes we forget that we've been doing this a while, and we say stuff like that because it's an acronym that we use in the business. But DTI is debt to income. So, all right, I'm gonna write it on the board so everybody can see it.
Are you going to go with like student loans, how that plays a negative?
I'm going there.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah. You guys are going to look at it. Yeah, we had it pretty good at one point. It's changed a lot. All right, so I'm not really good on the board, but I'm going to write up here anyways. So your DTI, most programs is at 43%. So if you got, let's say you make $3,000. So somebody can tell me what that is? You got a calculator. I know you got some on your phone. So. Do I have to pull my phone out? You got it. All right. Tell me what that is. So this is $3,000. We'll say gross income. $1,290. All right. So this is $1,290. So what this says is that if based on your $3,000 of income at 43%, your total debts meaning car payment, credit card payments, loans, any of that debt we call it, can be no more than $1,290. Does that make sense? All right. So if you got a $500 car payment in here, how much can you afford payment on the house? $790.
Ooh.
And so you can see how debt, loans, credit cards could diminish or lower the amount that you can qualify from a home. Okay? And here's another thing that most folks don't know is how does credit play into this? And I'll tell you how it plays into this. The lower your credit, the more strict these ratios are to be exactly what the standard is. So if it's 43%, which is the standard on the FHA, Federal Housing Administration loan, then it's going to be right there at 43. It's not going to go higher. Let's change it. Say you had a 750 credit score. Does everybody know the range of credit scores?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So say you had a 750 credit score. I've had loans that have gotten approved at 57% because they had a higher credit score. Now, when I say 57%, I'm not telling you to go get the house at 57%. I'm saying that's how credit plays into qualification as part of it. Because basically what that says is that if we look at it from a risk standpoint, the better your credit score, saying the better you're able to take care of your credit, the better you manage your credit.
So would you say it's helpful to have a higher credit score and less debt when you're going into? It's possible.
That's the perfect
scenario.
Yeah, that's the big. I mean, you don't see that too often, but that's the, as we say, the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Situation. Most of the situations are not like that. Though. Most of them, I see either one, they have really good income, low scores, or they have really high income and low scores, or high income, low scores, and then the opposite way. And then I see a lot in the middle. I see some with good income, decent scores, and those are the ones that you're able to work with. But with the new company that Sharon mentioned earlier, I actually transitioned over to, I was just a loan officer with the company, from the previous company. The new company I'm going with, I'm actually going to be a branch manager, assistant vice president for the area. And so I'm actually going to be hiring loan officers, I'm going to be hiring staff and doing all that fun stuff. So
Awesome.
and with this new company, I can go down a little bit lower on credit scores. I can do 550 on VA loans, and I can do from 500 to 579
Wow.
with 10% down. So you see how that changes. The lower your score, the more we ask for. Not saying you can't get approved, but guess what? If the scores are lower, that means we got to have a little bit more investment.
Yeah.
Because that's going to lower our risk. So if you decide not to pay, guess what? We got 10% of the property. So we can probably go sell it and make our profit back as a lender. All right, so we're going to move on. So that section there was talking about how much can you afford. We talked about just the housing ratio. And we talked about
Repeat that question.
how your debt to income ratio plays into that. I'm going to stop there for a minute so we can have a few questions. Is that cool? All right.
Yes, I want to ask a question on Periscope, but I asked her to repeat it. I think she was asking how that plays a role in mortgage closer, but I think I had her re-ask because I'm not sure exactly what she was asking.
Are you saying that the lower your credit score, the more you have to put down?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It helps. Mm-hmm. It'll help, but not necessarily. It just depends on what the actual score is. So if that, if the score is I mean, it ranges anywhere from 350 to 850. I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of 850s, but
This was in his
it
branch.
just depends. So, and that's where the other part of the details of the application come in. How long you worked at a job, you know, how much money you have in the bank. All those things we consider as compensating factors. So it strengthens your case to purchase a home.
So you saying if you have a lowest score, say you buy a house for like $100,000, and you got maybe you put your 60,000 in the bank.
Right.
I mean square to it now.
That's okay.
But, how would that work? I mean, as far as helping you still would have
It's
to
okay,
put a
come
lot
on.
down.
Every situation is different. And there's not one that's exactly the same. That scenario has to be something that we have to look at on an individual basis. But just from a standard point of view, if you've got, like I was talking about earlier, with the 500 to 579 requirements, 10%. Now, if you put more money down, obviously it strengthens the case for the loan. If you're at 580 is 2.5% on that FHA loan. So I mean, it's still, and obviously you have to get into the approval side because it's more than just saying, oh, well, you got a 570, so we can do the loan. It doesn't work that way, but it does. It puts you in a qualification standpoint where we have to do more details as far as the application is concerned with the assets, checking, savings, 401k. If you've been on the job a long time, or if you stay at one job a year and then move another, I mean, all those things play into qualifying. Does that make sense? Everybody follow me there?
I think she was asking if the mortgage branch has to be closer to your home. Like, I guess if you're taking out a loan, does it have to be a mortgage company within your area? I think, Shelly.
I mean, we've got folks doing loans that live in Jersey.
Okay.
They're doing loans here in South Carolina.
Okay.
Just for example, myself, I'm looking to get my license in Florida because that's where I'm from.
Okay.
So I can do loans in Florida, Georgia, which I'm working on my Georgia license as well.
Okay.
So you don't have to be in the area.
Okay.
You had a question, sir?
Yes, how does it work with the VA loan?
Oh man, you're my man. All right, VA loans is actually it's 100% financing.
Awesome.
It's 550 is actually the minimum score that we'll have with the company I'm with now. The biggest thing about VA loans is that they look for 12-month pay history. So if you got lease within that 12-month gap, depending on what it is, we can work with it. It just depends. The best thing about the VA loan though is the rates are very good, very competitive. It's 100% financing, which is huge because every other program, or most of them, I'd say, requires a down payment.
Well, let me ask you this: I've been at Verizon for 10 years, but
Repeat that question.
and I'm a veteran, but I'm on long-term disability right now, and I've been having a problem because even though I get a paycheck, they're saying because it's a disability check, it doesn't count as an income. But my wife works, so how would that work?
Well, and if we're doing a joint
Repeat the
application,
question, Shelly.
then the income
Yes.
from her, because actually on a VA loan, you can't be on a VA loan together unless you're married. That's one of the requirements for the program. But as far as income, you can count her income. Now, the long-term disability, I have to look more into it because they require that it's an income for 3 years. So it's got to be continuous. Yeah, it's got to be continuous. So what I mean by that is, say if we started with a loan today, we got to see that it's going to be continuous. That it's going to come. And I guess you kind of look at what's another type of income that we look at. What is it? That's right at the top of my head. So Social Security is, that's a permanent income. So that's coming. That's permanent. So it'll be there forever. But really, in that situation, we have to look at your paperwork and just kind of see what the details of it is. Because I hate to tell you, we can do that, and then you sit down with me, and then I go do some more research and find out we can't. So.
Oh, gotcha.
First-time home buyers. I mean, there's a lot of programs out there. Actually, there South Carolina State Housing is a program that's out there. I know they have some county programs. I haven't dug deep into a whole lot of them, to be honest with you. But the state housing is something that I have done. So that's another program that's available for first-time home buyers.
One question on Periscope: the loan officers that you're going to be hiring,
Right.
will those people need to be local, or are you hiring people long distance?
They would be local.
Local?
They'll be local.
Okay. And another question I have for someone that had purchased houses in the past. For instance, I bought my first house in 2000. Then I bought another house in 2002. So going into buying another house, would I qualify with my husband as a first time homeowner? Because I know that there was some type of stipulations with that, given the time frame.
Right, well, it's 3 years.
Okay.
It's a 3-year period. So do you own a home now?
Yes.
Okay, so as far as being a first time home buyer, you wouldn't be considered a first time home buyer.
Okay.
Has he ever owned a home?
No.
So he would be considered a first time home buyer.
Okay.
The truth of it is that the first time home buyer, the considerations, I guess, will be based on what type of program you're using.
Okay.
Most times, most of the loans that I've done, they come with, I've had down payments, say like 3.5%.
Okay.
And then the VA loans, which are 100%. So that would qualify when it comes to, when you say first time home buyer. Is that?
Okay.
Is that
Yeah.
the answer?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So the next slide here says, why be pre-approved? Can anybody tell me what that means? What does pre-approved mean?
Sure. So you know where you stand. As far
Right.
as making purchase.
Okay. And so when you say pre-approved, what does that involve? Do you know what that involves as far as the details of? All right, so let me explain to you what that means. So pre-approved means you come and sit down with me. I do an application with you. That application consists of your name, your date of birth, your social, where you live at, how long you live there, how much you pay for rent, who do you pay. The biggest thing I see there is that if you're paying cash, you can't document cash. So if you're renting, you want, either if you're paying an individual, you want to make sure you do a check or something that you can document where we can see this is what you pay and this is how much you're paying and this is the frequency in which you pay. If you're paying cash, I can't determine, much of anything on cash. Go ahead.
What if it's through it because my landlord has Bank of America and I have Bank of America? So what if it's a bank transfer every month?
Now, bank transfer, that's still tracking, because I could see that. We would have to there would have to be some letters written explaining, we'd have to bring both bank statements in. But I've seen that, you can document that. That's more than just me taking $600 and giving you cash, and there's no trace of it, on the renting side. So, the other thing is we look at employment, how long you've been employed, what your gross income is, do you have any deductions on your pay stubs, is there anything that's been taken out, do you have child support? Go ahead. Yep.
With employment, say for example, because I know some things change, if you haven't been on your job long enough, is there a requirement to be on your job to purchase a home? Like you have to be 5 years, 2 years, how long do you need to be employed?
The standard is 2 years, but that's a tricky question because you can have been at a place for a year and then change to another place, and then change. We do look at stability of income or stability of work history, but really the goal is to have a 2-year history. And if you change industries, then that does change the way we look at income or look at your history, your work history.
But that's,
I was on the job for 5 years. I was hurt in a car accident. I was out for 3 years due to surgery and not being able to return, but they paid me long-term disability.
Okay.
And I've just started a new job
Okay.
within the last month.
Right.
So can I count the old job, even though I didn't get fired? But they still pay me long-term disability.
That's a good question. That's one I'd have to look up, to be honest with you, because it's that one. It's not that you quit working.
Exactly.
But there's something that happened in the middle that caused you to have to be on long-term disability.
Right.
So you didn't have the work history, so to speak.
Right.
But now you started back to
I
work.
started another job.
Right.
I didn't go back to the other one.
Right.
Because they say I can't really do that kind of work anymore.
Yeah,
Wasn't physically.
Gotcha.
But I had to change up, and so I just started a new job. I hadn't worked for 3 years
Right.
because of that situation.
Right. I honestly, I'd have to look that one up.
Okay.
Because I would hate to tell you something to be wrong.
Okay.
It's better to look that one up and get you a definite answer.
Okay.
All right.
if you retire, and
Who else had a question? Somebody else had?
if you retired And, oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, if you retired
Mhm.
and went back to work part-time or something like that, and you've been on this part-time job for a couple of years, how do y'all work with that?
Well, part-time is something you have to be on for 2 years.
Mhm.
So there has to be a part-time income consistent for 2 years on that.
And you consider the retirement?
And we'll consider the retirement, and retirement is part of your income.
Mhm.
But as far as counting income from the part-time, you have to be there 2 years to count
So if you were in a job and you moved up, that wouldn't be counted
that.
against?
Oh, yeah, that's promotion. You're still considered an employee, you just got a promotion. So you're still the same company, and that's what you're saying, you're moving up in that company? Okay, yeah, that counts.
So with,
Go ahead.
with that income tax, I filed my long-term disability, y'all
Mhm.
accept that?
So you actually filed as income?
Yeah,
I don't see why we wouldn't count that.
because I file a tax return on it every year.
Yeah, because I mean, it's income, you're paying taxes on it.
Okay,
You're paying taxes on it, so I would see that being, I mean, you could receive that, what, 5 years, was it?
I've been receiving long-term for 3
For
years.
3 years, okay. I would see us counting that because you're paying taxes on it.
Yeah, I filed a return.
And you file it on returns, so it's just like any other job.
Okay.
But, yeah. Now, we're gonna hold the questions for a little bit so I can get through some more of this, and then we'll come back and address more of this. So for documents for pre-approval. So we're talking about the pre-approval process. What does it take? You come down, you sit with me, we go through the application, we ask you a few questions, and then we ask you for some documentation. Because basically everything that you gave them in the application, I've got to be able to document it. I've got to say, okay, you told me you made $5 grand. I need to see pay stubs, I need to see W-2s, I need to see tax returns, because we all know if you own a business, you write off everything.
Everything.
And then you also need to see bank statements, because we need to show deposits. What's going in, what's coming out. And if you can't document what's going in and coming out, guess what happens? We don't use it. So if you put in a $5,000 deposit, and it just says $5,000 deposit, and you don't have anything to say, hey, I got $5,000 from this, here's my check to show what it is, guess what? That's $5,000 that you still have in your bank account. You can use it how you want to. But guess what? When I go to say, okay, we've got $10,000 in bank account, but $5,000 I can't see you. So really, you only have $5,000. So that's how that works. Most of your pay stubs, they're going to go in. If you have direct deposit, they're going to show what company they came from. So that's something that's easily documentable. We look at the W-2 forms. We've actually started pulling transcripts. Why do you think we pull transcripts? For the business owners, because this is interesting.
I think it shows more information.
Well, one, it does, and the other part of it is tax returns might be different from your W-2s.
Correct. Yes, extremely different.
Because you're doing deductions.
Way less.
So your W-2s are real nice.
Yeah.
Because they just show what you made. But your tax returns show deductions, they show anything else that you're writing off. So your true income is what your tax returns show.
And I guess depending on the situation, because if I'm trying to get money, I want to show them how much money I make. So a W-2 may be good for that instance. But if I'm trying to get taxes back, then I may want to show my 1040, or not taxes back. But if I want to I don't know what I'm trying to say. But if I'm trying to show I make less, if I'm trying to qualify and show I make less, then I want to present my 1040 because that's saying that, hey, I only make $29,000 for an income-based repayment plan for a student loan. I want to show them that, hey, no, I don't make $100,000, I only make 20. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's true. And that's what, I mean, if you think about it, that's what business owners do.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's part of the reason why you become a business owner, so you're not paying taxes on everything first and then get what's left over. You basically get what you make, and then you decide how you're gonna, do your tax at the end of the year, how much you're gonna pay, depending on what your write-offs are. Let's see. So the tax returns, we talked about that. We talked about the bank statements, pay stubs, what we're looking for there, and then proof of additional income. So child support, you got that. It's got to be continuous for 3 years. So an example of that is if the kid's 14 and they're going to be 18 in 4 years, guess what, we can count that. But if they're 16, you can't count it because they'll be done after before the 3 year period is up. So that, I mean, I've got a situation like that right now. Let's see here, what else we got? All right, so let's go over to the next page that says, what kind of mortgage is right for you? Now, do you guys know the difference between the type of mortgages that are out there? No.
Yes.
30 year, 15 years, so that's the mortgage product.
Print, yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. Some of the questions that you want to ask yourself
Fixed
when you're
variable.
looking at the right product or the right mortgage for you. Is your income going to change? Do you expect it to change, the finances to change? Are you expecting a kid, which will add to your finances? Are you expecting two? Because I mean, that was the expense. Are you expecting to have to buy a new car or having to do anything different that might add to your expenses? That's all something you want to think about when you're looking at what type of mortgage you're going to get into. Another thing is, are you planning on staying in a home for a long time? Or is this going to be a 2-year, 3-year deal and then you're going to move some other place? Or are you going to stay there long term? That's something when you want to think about. Another thing you want to think about is, are you comfortable with your payments fluctuating? Because how comfortable are you with that? Not many people are comfortable with payments going up and down. Let's see. And then one of the other questions is, are you looking at paying the mortgage off sooner or later? Are you trying to get it